The Gordian Knot, according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, is defined as an intricate problem, but the second definition is what we're more interested in. A knot tied by King Gordios of Phrygia. But who was King Gordios, and why was he so good at tying knots? Was he a Boy Scout? No. Gordios was actually a nobody who just happened to be at the right place at the right time, thanks to some possible divine intervention. Gordios was a poor man from Phrygia, which was a region controlled in central Anatolia, better known today as Turkey. And you're going to find out this place has a lot of names as time goes on. Gordios was working in his fields when an eagle flew down and sat on his ox cart, preventing him from working any further. At first, he tried scaring the eagle away, but the eagle was exercising its freedom to sit by not moving at all from the area. Eventually, Gordios went to a nearby temple to figure out what to do, and the woman suggested sacrificing to Zeus, and he'll get the eagle to go away. Gordios says that's a great idea. Want to get married? And the two get married, and together they have a child named Midas, who you'll learn about in a future video. The eagle left after the sacrifice, and Gordios got on with his life, teaching his son how to farm. Fast forward a few years, and Gordios is traveling into town, and in some versions he has Midas with him riding on an ox cart. When the two arrive in the town, the crowds gather and they start cheering their arrival. Gordios is understandably confused because he's just a nobody farmer. He doesn't deserve this kind of a welcome, he thinks. Well, come to find out, he's been declared king because a few years back, the oracle predicted that the next king of Phrygia would enter town riding on an ox cart. In some versions with Midas, he becomes king, and in versions without, Gordios becomes king. Gordios is celebrated, and he decides to tie the ox cart to the temple of Zeus as a thank you to the god, because he believes Zeus is the one who gave him this destiny. Gordios tied the greatest knot anyone had ever seen, and he said whoever could untie the knot would go on to conquer all of Asia. Please note, Asia back then was defined as what is today Turkey and the surrounding areas. He means just conquering all of that, not what we see today as the massive continent of Asia. Well, we're going to fast forward again, this time to the age of Alexander the Great. Alexander had recently just inherited his father's Macedonian Empire and unified most of Greece under his rule. Alexander set out to conquer the Persian Empire, and one of his first stops was Phrygia. The Phrygians welcomed Alexander to their city, and one of his first stops in the city was the Temple of Zeus, where they showed him the Gordian Knot. They recounted the story I just told you to Alexander, and Alexander decided that if anyone could untie that knot, it'd be him. After messing around with a few strands around it, Alexander had the bright idea to pull out his sword and yell, "It doesn't matter how it's loosened." Alexander began hacking at it, and slashed the Gordian Knot apart with his sword. Later that night, a thunderstorm rolled into town, and Alexander considered this approval from Zeus that he would go on to conquer Asia, and by extension, the Persian Empire itself. Now, if I could just interject my own opinion here for a moment, I feel like in any other Greek story, a thunderstorm appearing over a city the night after you break something symbolic would be taken as a bad omen. But Alexander's just so full of himself that he takes it as a divine stamp of approval to continue conquering. I can't deny, the man's got confidence. Anyway, thank you for watching, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you want to see more, and until next time, have a good one.